So good afternoon all. So let us start the session. In previous class, just wait 1 second. So let us start the session. In previous class, we discussed about string data type, so definition, and we discussed some string handling functions. In today's class, we are going to discuss about join function. So after that, we discuss about some string handling functions. So after that, we are going to see some example programs. Okay. So this is the join function. So what is the purpose of the join function means? So join method join all the elements in a list with a particular delimiter or separator. So for example, so this is the list L. So this is the list L. In this list, I store so 3 data elements. So 14, 6, 20, 21. Now, so by using this join method, I'm going to join all these data elements and store as a string. So what is the purpose of the join method? So this method is very important when you are writing the programs. In many programs, we are going to use this join method. It joins all the elements in a list. All the elements here, the elements are 14, 6, 20, 21. Now, all these elements are so joined with a particular delimiter. So delimiter is nothing but here you can specify the delimiter. Here the delimiter is dash. If you are using at the rate, then it joins all the elements with the delimiter at the rate. Okay. Now what is the expected output? Here L equals to 14, 6, 20, 21. S equals to the delimiter dash hyphen dot join L. So here the 14 is the data element and it is joined with 6 with the delimiter hyphen, after that hyphen, so 20, 21. Now, so this is the string stored in a variable S. If you print yes, it prints so 14, 6, 20, 21 as output. Okay. So what is the purpose of the join method? So join method is used to join all the elements in a list with a particular delimiter. I'm taking a list L equals to 15, 6, 20, 21. Okay. If you declare like this, so these are the integers actually. We see what happened. And I am using a join function here dash dot join in brackets. I am going to give the list here. Now if I print yes, it prints the expected output like this 15 dash 6 dash 20 21. Okay, so first we save this program. Program 14. Okay, if I execute, it returns an error. Okay, here expected string instance. Here all the data elements in the form of string instance, but here I give so 15, so this is the integer. So I change these data elements as a string. How? By using single quotation or double quotation or 3 single quotations. Okay, now I execute. See, so by using this join method, I join all the data elements in the list. So by using n delimiter hyphen. Okay. So next is alpha. So these 3 functions we are going to use repeatedly in our programs. It's very important. These 3 functions are very important. Is alpha returns true if all characters in the string are alphabet. So for example, so s1 equals to college. S1 equals to college. Now, so s1 is alpha or not? S1 dot is alpha. So what it returns? It returns true if all the characters in the string are alphabets. In this, all the characters are all the characters in the string are alphabet, so it returns true. So for example, college 1 2 3 4. So college 1 2 3 4. Here the college is a combination of characters. It's a combination of, just wait. Okay, it's a combination of characters and numbers, so it returns false. Okay, so what is the is alpha? It returns true if all characters in the string are alphabets. Otherwise, it returns false. Is alphanumeric? Is alphanumeric? So that means it returns true if a string contains alphanumeric characters without symbols. That means alphabets or numbers without any symbol. Then we say that is alphanumeric function returns true. Is digit function returns true if all characters in a string are numbers. If all the characters in the string are numbers like 1 2 3 4, then it returns true. Okay, now everyone please give the response in the chat box. So this is the s1 equals to college, s2 equals to 1 2 3 4, s3 equals to college 1 2 3 4, s4 equals to college at the rate 1 2 3 4. Now if I print s1 dot is alpha, what it returns? Everyone please give the response in the chat box. Is alpha, s1 equals to college, and if I give dot is alpha, what it returns? It returns true. Okay, now so print s1 dot is alphanumeric. S1, that means the college, so s1 dot is alphanumeric. Now what it returns? True or false? So true or false? Everyone please give the response in the chat box. Is alphanumeric? So college is alphanumeric? No, it is only alphabets, consists of alphabets, so it returns false. So next, s1 dot is digit. S1, so college is only consists of the digits? No, so it returns false. Okay, true, false, false. And similarly for s2 equals to 1 2 3 4. Is alpha? False. Is alphanumeric? False. Is digit? True. Is digit? Yes, it is true. Similarly, S3. What is the S3? S3 consists of alphabets and numbers. So S3 dot is alpha. Is alpha, what it returns? Everyone please give the response. S3 dot is alpha. Yes, it returns false. It returns false. S3 dot is alpha numeric. Alpha numeric. So call is 1, 2, 3, 4. So college is alphabets 1, 2, 3, 4 are numbers. So it returns true. S3 dot is digit. Is digit. What it returns? Is digit. It returns false. It returns false. S4 dot is alpha. What is S4? College at the rate 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it returns false. S4 dot is alphanumeric. False. S4 dot is digit. False. Okay. So this is the expected output. True, false, 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 true, false, true, false, 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 false. Okay. So now we execute this program. So S1 equals to college. S2 equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. S3 equals to college 1, 2, 3, 4. S4 equals to college at the rate 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so S1 equals to college. Now we are going to write the functions. Print S1 dot is alpha. Is alpha. Similarly, is alphanumeric. ALNUM. So next is digit. Okay. So these three for S1. S2 and S3 and S4. Okay, so this is the expected output. True, false, 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 true, false, true, false, 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 false. Now we check that. Okay, so true, true. So is alpha true? Yes, yes. Here we change the pattern. So this is the S1 dot is alpha. It returns true. Is alpha numeric? Alphabets or numbers? So alphabets are there. So it returns true. So S1 dot is digit false. S2 dot is alpha is false. So why? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. So S2 dot is alpha numeric. It returns true. S2 dot is digit. It returns true. S3 dot is alpha. It returns true. S3 dot alpha. It returns false. S3 dot is alpha numeric. It returns true. S3 dot is digit is it returns false. S4 dot is alpha false. S4 dot is alpha numeric false. S4 dot is digit false. Okay, so these three functions we are going to use in many programs. Okay, you all are remember that how to use these functions. So when you are writing the programs, you are going to use object name here. So S1 dot the function name. So normal. Okay, so normally you are writing like this. You get the error. Is alpha in brackets. You are going to give S1. Okay, so this is wrong. Okay, you write function like this, s1 dot is alpha. Okay, now we move to the next one. Okay, so this is the program. Now we are going to write a program. So everyone, first, so read the problem. So write a program to find a string. So write a program to find a string. The user enters a string and a substring. Here, the user enters a string and substring. So now you have to print the number of times that substring occurs in the given string. Okay, so what it means here, the input is ABC, DC, DC, and the substring is CDC. Now what is the expected output? Everyone please give the response in the chat box. So write a program to find a string. Here, so this is the string CDC. I want to find in a string ABC, DC, DC. Now I'm going to print the substrings, how many times occur in the given string. So CDC occur how many times in the string? So A, B, C, D, C, DC. Okay. So now the substring is CDC. The substring is CDC. Now, so how we can check that this CDC? I take this CDC. So this is the CDC. Now I check this CDC with this string and I start from here. If it is matched, then I increment the count. Okay. If not matched, then I check from B. If it is matched with CDC, then I increment the count. Otherwise, I don't increment. After that, I check from C here, from C. Now the CDC equals to CDC. So increment the count by 1. So after that, I check from DCD. I take this by using the string slicing. I take DCD. Now these two are equal. No. Again, I check with CDC. It is not matched. It is matched CDC with CDC. So increment the count value. So after that DC. After that C. That means I check this substring with the string, say A, B, C, D, C, D, C. Okay. So how we can write this program? So up to now, we learn about string data type. In that, we know string slicing. After that, we learn many string functions. Now, everyone try to write the solution for this. So this is the one of the solution. So how I solve this problem means I'm going to read one string from the keyboard. For example, that is CRR COE COE. Okay, so this is the string I read from the keyboard. Now I want to give another string COE as a substring, or CO. Let us assume CO as a substring. Okay, now by seeing these two strings, you say the output. Everyone please give the response in the chat box. So what is the output for this? If I give CRR COE COE and if I give CO, so what is the expected output? It gives, the expected output is 2. Okay, If I give C, if I give only C, then if I give C as a substring, then 3 is the output. Okay. Now, so how we can solve this problem? For example, so this is the CO. So how I solve this problem means, initially I am taking a count. Initially I initialize this C value equals to 0. After that, so this is the string I am going to search. That means, so this substring, so this is the substring yes, yes, and this is the string yes. Now I check this substring with this string by using the string slicing. So for example, here I am taking that, so first two values CR. So that means the length of the, if the length of the substring is 2, then I am going to check with 2 characters only. Okay, so I can slice this yes, yes equals to, how we can slice, how, 0 to n. So here the n value equals to 2. So yes of 0 to 2. Now what is the expected output for CRR, COE? If I write yes 0 colon 2, it returns CR. Now I check CO equals to CR or not? No. So increment the I value. Next I take from R, R2, RR, these two. Now again here I am taking I plus n. If I equals to 0, 0 to 2. If I equals to 1, 1 to 3. So what is the 1, 2, 3 here? RR. CO equals to RR? No. So next I value is 2. It is RC. CO equals to RC? No. Next CO. In next iteration it becomes CO. Now CO equals to CO. Yes, it returns true. So increment the count value. So increment C value. So it become 1. After that, OE. CO equals to OE? False. So next, EC. CO equals to EC? False. Next, CO equals to CO? Yes, it is true. So increment the count value. So it is 2. So after that, OE. CO equals to OE? False. So after that, E equals to CO? False. Okay. We reached the end of the string. So we print the C value. That's it. Okay. I hope everyone understand the problem and how to solve this problem. Anybody have any doubts regarding this? How I solve? You can solve in many ways. Okay. Here, anybody write the program, but you're going to read the input and you give the expected output. That's it. So this is the only solution for this problem. You write the problem, you write the solution in many ways. This is the one of the solution only. Okay, let us execute this. Okay, so the, in first line you are going to read a string. So for example, CRR, COE. Now you are going to give the substring. So from keyboard I am going to read two strings. One is yes, I am taking s equals to input, and I'm taking one substring from keyboard. So I take a variable ss input. Okay. Now I want to find the length of substring. So I use the length function here. In previous class we learned about length. What is the purpose of the length? It returns the length of a string. If I enter CO, it returns true 2. If I enter COE, then it returns 3. Then it returns 3 as a length. Okay. Now I run a loop for I in range of length of S. Length of S. What it means? So what is the length of S? What is the length of S? The length of S is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here. The length of S is 9. So range of length of S. Then it returns a sequence 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. It stores like this. Actually, the CRR, COE, COE. Okay. And the variable name is yes. The length is 9. Okay, now we are going to compare. So if so the substring SS equals to, here we are going to compare the substring with string. So yes, yes. In yes, you are going to do the slicing. In first slicing, you are going to, if the string length is 2, you are going to compare the two elements. For example, in CRR, COE, COE, you are compare first, in first iteration, you are going to compare CR. So I plus n. If the value is 0, then 0 to 2. If I value is 1, then 1 to 3. If I value is 2, 2 to 4. Okay. If the substring is matched with the string slicing, then you are going to take one count value. Initially I am taking the count C equals to 0, and here C equals to 1, C equals to C plus 1, or you can write C plus equals to 1 also. That's it. At the end of the program, you are going to print the C value. You are going to print the C value. Okay. We execute this program. Yes, equals to, sorry. Okay. ABC, DC, CDC. And I enter the substring CDC. Okay. So what is the expected output? 2. CDC here, another CDC. Okay. If I give CRR, COE, COE. If I give CO, so 2 is the output. CRR, COE, COE. If I give COE, it returns output 2. If I give CRR, COE, COE and give C as output, it returns 3. It returns 3. If I give CRR, COE, COE, CRR triple E, ECE, CSE, Mech, Civil, IT. Okay. If I give input like this and I give EE as a input, EE as a input. Now what is the expected output? This is the 1E, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 is the output. Okay. I hope everyone understand this problem. Anybody have any doubts? If you have any doubt, place your doubt in the chat box. Any doubt regarding this problem? Here we understand the length function. Length function. Wait. and range function and string slicing. So these three concepts we used here to solve this problem. Okay. So now we move to next problem. Okay. So valid password. Valid password. So write a program to check whether the given password is valid or not. So write a program to check whether the given password is valid or not. Consider the password to be valid if it contains at least one digit. At least one digit. That means if I enter the CRR COE as a password, it is invalid password. It is invalid password. If I enter CRR1 COE, CRR1 COE, it is valid password. It is valid password. That means as per the problem description, here what is the password you read from the keyboard that is valid if it contains at least one digit. At least one digit. So these are the constraints. The input will be single line, so containing a string. The output should be single line containing either the valid password or invalid password. Okay. What is first one? If it is valid password, then it display the output as valid password, otherwise invalid password. Okay. So these are the sample inputs. So one is QWERTY. So QWERTY 00. So 00. These are the numbers. So it prints valid password as a output. Another input is dashboard. For dashboard, what is the expected output? Invalid password. Invalid password. Okay. Now everyone please give the response in the chat box. If I give the input, apple. So what is the output? What is the output? Everyone please give the response in the chat box. If I give apple as an input, what is the expected output? Invalid password. Okay. If I give so to apple, now it's a valid password. Now it returns it's a valid password as a output. Okay. Yes. Now we try to solve this problem. How we solve this problem? Everyone think how you solve this problem. So by seeing this, we say that so QWERTY00 is a valid password and so dashboard is a invalid password. So how we determine that? How I solve this problem is, so first one I am going to read the string. I'm going to read the string. So for example, the string is apple. Okay. How I solve this? I read each character from the string. Each character from this string. So I read the character A and I check this A is alphabet or digit. Okay. If it is the digit, then I print valid password and I break the loop. Okay. If it is alphabet, then I'm going to take the next character to check. That's it. Okay. Everyone understand or not? I'm taking a string and from this string I'm going to write one for loop. In that I'm going to read each character from the string and I check whether it is alphabet or digit. Okay, so that means when I am reading any character, it may be alphabet or digit. Then if it is a digit, I directly break the loop and I print it is a valid password. If it is digit, otherwise I write continue statement and I take the next character from this string. That's it. Okay. Okay, so this is the program. Here I am reading the password from the keyboard. For example, the password is apple 2. So apple 2. Now, so for I in password. Now, what is the I value in first iteration? The I equals to A. In next iteration, P. In next iteration, P. So after that, L, E, 2. That's it. In first iteration, I value I equals to A. So A is alpha. Yes. So I write continue here. So what is the purpose of the continue statement? The continue is used to skip the remaining instructions in the loop. Skip the remaining instructions in the loop. That means all these instructions are skipped and the I value becomes P. The I value becomes P. Now, so P is alpha. Yes. So again skip P. So P is also alpha. So again skip. L is alpha. Skip. E is alpha. Skip. 2 is alpha. Now I value equals to 2. So 2 is alpha. No. So go to here. If I is digit. Yes. 2 is digit. So 2 is digit. So I print valid password and I make this flag. We discuss in few moments why I write this and I write break here. I write break. That means after there is a ABC. So then also it is valid password. So no need to check. As per the problem description, at least one new number is there in the string. Then we say that it is a valid password. Okay. So this is the simple logic here. I read the string. So after that, I check the each character in the string is alphabet or digit. If it is alphabet, I go to next character, read the next character from the string. If it is a digit, I'm going to print the valid and break the loop. Okay. So why I am taking the flag equals to 0 here? Okay. That means if I enter only all the characters, the string contains only the characters. Now, in this case, we don't enter into this loop. We don't enter into this loop. So here we are going to remember that here we don't enter into this loop and we can check this flag value. So for example, apple 2. Now if I am not taking this flag value, then it prints valid password. So after that, it prints invalid password also. Invalid password also. Now we can print either one of the message only. So you can write a flag value and I initialize this flag value equals to 0. Whenever each digit is encountered, I initialize this value with 1 and after this you check the flag equals to 0 or not. If I not enter into this loop, the flag value remains 0 only. That means the string contains only alphabets. So if the flag equals to 0, then it is invalid password. So otherwise, when any digit is encountered, then we enter into this block and it print valid password and make the flag as 1. Okay. I hope everyone understand. We write the program. Okay. So what is the, just wait. You are going to read password. So I take the password as variable name. You can take any variable name input. So now we are going to check that either these password contain the number or not. So for I in password, okay. So print I. Okay, first we execute this. So what it prints? So for example, I give college. In first iteration C, second iteration O, third iteration L, fourth iteration L, fifth iteration G, sixth iteration G, seventh iteration E. Okay. So now, say every time I check this I equals to alphabet or not. So already now only we learn the functions. I is alpha. If it is alpha, you are going to print. Let us assume you are going to print invalid password. Okay. This is not exact program. So why I write like this means what is the, to know the purpose of flag. So after that I check is digit. Now we are going to print valid password. Okay. We are going to read the password and I check the each letter. If it is alphabet, you are going to print invalid password, or if it is a digit, valid password. We execute the program. Okay, if I give apple, now if you observe that it prints invalid password 5 times. If I give apple 2, now if you observe that for A, it prints invalid password. For P, invalid password. P, invalid. L, invalid password. E, invalid password. When it reads E, it prints valid password. Okay. By seeing this, we observe that. So first we are going to check whether the digit is in the string or not. So that means we can iterate the loop. First we iterate the string. So after completion of that only you are going to print either it is valid or invalid. Okay, if it is a digit, you directly print the valid password. So we write the valid password in this here only, but here we write break. Sorry, continue. You write continue. Okay, now we execute. If I give apple, does not print anything. Now why? Here when it is I value is alphabet, then continue, it moves to next instruction. If I write, now it displays valid password. Okay, but if this string does not contain any number, then you are going to print the invalid password. Okay, so how? So for that we are going to take a flag value. Flag equals to 0. That means I am assuming that is invalid password. Whatever I am going to read from the keyboard, that is invalid password. And so if the digit is encounter, I want to print it as a valid password, and I make the flag value equals to 1. And I write break here. So no need of semicolons. Okay, break. Now we execute. If I give apple, so now we are going to check the flag value. So here I write a flag value. If flag equals to 0, that means we don't enter into this block. Is digit is always false, we don't enter into this block. So here I am going to write print invalid password. That's it. So now I give apple, it displays invalid password. if I give apple to you, it's valid password. Why? So whenever the digit is encountered, it displays valid password. Okay, so what happened here? So first I value is P. So P is alphabet, so continue. So next iteration P. So P is alphabet, so continue. Next iteration P. So P is alphabet, so continue. So L is alphabet, so continue. So U is alphabet, so continue. So 2 is alphabet, false. Go to here. 2 is digit, yes. So enter into the block, valid password, make the flag as a 1 and break the loop. That means there is no need of comparison. Is the alphabet or digit? Why? Here the problem specifies that if at least one digit is there, then it is valid password. So break. So after that, we check if flag equals to 0, so invalid password. So why? If there is no number in this string, in all the iterations, we don't enter into this block. So you are going to print invalid password. Invalid password. Okay. So this is the problem. Solution for that problem. So anybody have any doubts? If apple to at the rate, yes, it prints so valid password only. If apple 2, that means whenever the 2 is encountered, for example, apple at the rate 2, apple at the rate 2, if it is the at the rate, is alpha is false, is digit is false, so I iterate the next one at the some point, so 2, so it becomes, it prints valid password. So for example, say apple 2 at the rate, it displays a valid password. If apple at the rate 2, then also displays valid password. Okay, here we ignore these characters, special characters. So why? As per our problem, here you don't write any function to find the special characters. Okay, A5, I understand. If I give apple 2 at the rate, whenever the 2 is encountered, automatically the loop will be terminated. If you write apple at the rate 2, then say at the time of at the rate, these two functions are false. We go to the next iteration. Okay, so thank you all. We meet in tomorrow class. Thank you.